keep in mind, the biblical records, even though they're not the oldest in terms of the literature themselves and the clay tablets in Sumer that we found, it doesn't matter. The events described in the Bible are older, and they're based on evidence and information that was just as reliable, if not more, than what they had in Sumer, because they understood it better. We do not understand those tablets nearly as well as those who wrote them or used them at that time. And according to the biblical records and all the evidence that we can point to and show, the record that shows that the ark landed in eastern Anatolia or Turkey is accurate, and that the peoples there, Noah and those with him, migrated down south into Sumer, built cities like Nineveh, Babylon, and eventually migrated further south into Egypt. And all of this knowledge and wisdom was carried with them. It dispersed at the time of the Tower of Babel. And so that's the time when places like Greece, for example, became a populated island, specifically in the Septuagint version. And you can read them both in my translation at the Christian Witnesses of Jah forum. You have to register to get in, but I'll put some of the specific verses I have in mind in the description below, along with links to all of these videos. So you can rewatch them yourselves, you can evaluate them. We'll talk about each one of them. After each one, we'll stop, we'll go over them, and then we'll go to the next one. We go for about an hour and a half, up to 2, or less, depending on how much we have to talk about. But I'm going to try to give you the best information I have, both references like the texts, and if we don't review them together, I'll put them in the description, okay? These texts talk about the time when after the Tower of Babel, when the languages were confused. We have no writing datable to earlier than 4000 BCE, and that's generous in my view. I'm not talking about cave paintings and other things that are in a different category. I'm discussing what we can accept as writing, like cuneiform, maybe even certain types of glyphs. So in any case, that's what we see in those areas after the flood and in other places. And so these writings are all consistent in ways that we should pay attention to based on the evidence that I'm going to show.